name's I work at Vaessen Creative. I've worked here for 15 years and I've designed and done workshops and demonstrations for Vaessen. Crafting is my life, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the assortment of inks that we have. Who doesn't want to work with ink of a high quality? We all do. Here at Vaessen we supply an extensive assortment of inks based on high quality ingredients with best results. You'll find everything you need for being creative with ink at Vaessen. Let me tell you a little bit about the ink. Ink can be used for many different applications with lots of materials. Try using ink for stamping, watercolours, drawing, mixed media. You can use it actually for everything. Depending on the type of ink, it can be used on absorbent or porous surfaces such as paper, cardboard, wood, fabric and leather. Some ink types are suitable for use on a non-porous surface such as metal and glass and upopapir. This is the range of the dye inks that we have here. The dye ink is an ink which the dye is entirely dissolved in a carrier liquid. Most dye ink is water-based. Once the dye is dissolved, it won't separate from the carrier liquid. The ink is thin, it's transparent, non-toxic and acid-free. It's very fast drying. The ink may run if it gets wet again. The ink can discolour or fade over the course of time. The ink is perfect for creating detailed stamps. You get a really nice sharp stamp effect. We recommend using this ink on porous surfaces. For glossy paper, you'll need a heat gun to dry the ink properly and reduce the drying time. These are all the pigment inks here. Pigment inks consist of a very fine pigment particles that are suspended and then settled in the solvent. The ink is non-toxic, acid-free in comparison with the dye ink. More colour can be incorporated into pigment ink and so the colours remain really vivid. The stamp is clearly visible on darker paper because the ink actually sits on top of the paper, it's not absorbed into the paper. Let's go over now to the famous Ranger Distress Oxide Ink. Oxide ink is a dye ink with pigment ink hybrid. When sprayed with water, an oxidized effect is created. This effect will vary depending on the type of ink and paper colour. Oxide ink has the following characteristics. The ink is thick and opaque. It dries relatively slowly. The ink reacts to water. It oxidizes when it comes into contact with the water. The ink will then have a chalky appearance and is ideal for watercolours. The ink is not permanent, unfortunately, and will continue to react whenever it comes into contact with water. As such, it is not water resistant. The ink is suitable for use on cardstock and craft paper and board in both light and dark colours. The Oxide ink can be used in combination with all the other distress products from Ranger. This is our book, all about ink, which you can download from our website. Very informative book. Here is a chart of all the different types of ink that is in our collection. From Ranger, Sukaneko, Tonic Studios, our own make Vaessen Creative. And it tells you all about if it's water-based, oil-based, solvent-based, the drying time, what you can use it on, dark paper, light paper. Very informative chart. Download that from the internet and you know exactly which ink you can use. Very handy.